Hi, this is Sharon Lim. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I blog at sharonitwithyou.blogspot.com. And today, the video is going to show you how to make this lovely Trishutter card. And I used the Gilded Autumn Specialty Designer Series paper. So let's get started. We're going to start with a piece of Crumb Cake that measures 10.5 by 5.5. Then we're going to cut it at 1 1/4, and we're going to do it from 1 3/4. So basically, it's really cool that in Stampin' Up! Cutter you can actually measure on both sides. So 1 1/4, we're going to do the right side first, starting from 1 3/4, and you can see the measurements on this side all the way to 8 3/4. Then if you scoot it to the left, go again to 1 1/4 here and cut from 1 3/4 to 8 3/4. Then you're going to score a couple ways. So the first time you're going to score at 1 3/4 and 8 3/4, but only between the lines. So from 1 3/4 between the lines here, and 8 3/4 between the lines right here. Then the second score that you're going to do is scoring the whole piece, so all the way from top to bottom, at 3 1/2 all the way down, and at 7 all the way down. And that is how you make the base card. Then let's move on to the DSP. So we're going to start with a piece of DSP that's 5 1/4 by 10 1/4, and we're going to do some special cuts again. So I'm bringing my cutter back in, and we're going to cut at the 1 inch mark from 1 1/2. So I'm going to measure on the right again. So from 1 1/2 all the way to 8 3/4, and you want to do it on both sides. So again, you can use the 1 inch mark on the left, and starting at 1 1/2 all the way to 8 3/4. Okay, then you're going to turn the paper sideways, and then you're going to cut at 1 1/2, but you're only going to go from the 1 inch to the 4 1/4. So 1 inch to 4 1/4. And then do the same on the other side. You could just flip it if you want to do it that way. So 1 1/2 from 1 to 4 1/4. And what it makes is a lovely rectangle that you can pop out and use for a little later. So it looks like this. I'll set that aside. And then you're going to cut each piece to 3 1/4. So if you measure from this side from 3 1/4, you're going to cut so you get a C shape. You're going to scoot it over to 3 1/4 again. Be really careful that it's all lining up here. You're going to hold it down 3 1/4 and get these two pieces. Then this one's just a little bit long, so you're going to flip it over this way and cut it so it's 3 1/4. You're just going to have these extra pieces. And those are the ones you're going to put backwards, see, on the card. So let's bring the card back, and we're going to do some fancy folding. So the one that you did here, you're going to make a mountain, right? And then the one here, towards yourself again, the one here in between the folds, valley, right? Then the opposite, mountain, valley, valley, and a peak, and another valley. So basically, if you do it, if you fold it, it'll look like this, and it'll fit in a regular envelope, so it looks like that, kind of like that, zigzaggy on opposite ways. Okay. Then we're going to use, I'm going to try the Stampin' Seal Plus. I put the little T on the top to remind me how to put the top back on when I'm done. So we can start on the right here. And you're going to match it in right there. And remember those two pieces that we had earlier? We're going to put those on the spaces there. So this one will match here. Center as best you can. Okay, and then that first C that we made the first time. Oops. This is kind of cool. I like how the Stampin' Sale Plus is coming out. Alright, center that. So we have that so far. Okay, then for the middle, I cut a piece that is 2 3/4 by 3 1/4. So we're going to attach that to the middle here. And I cut another white, whisper white piece, same size as that. And that I thought would be nice on the opposite side, so we can actually maybe write a sentiment on it if we'd like. So I'm going to put that on the back, because sometimes if you use darker cardstock, you'll want a spot to do that. Then for the two sides, you want two that are measuring 1 1/2 by 2 3/4, and I thought the opposite of that, the piece that we had, kind of coordinates with it. I love that our DSP is double-sided, so we can do that. Okay, then I took a piece of cherry cobbler, and I used the new adhesive sheets because it's so intricate, and put it on the, wrong one, put it on the back of the cardstock before I ran the die through. And this die is from the Well Said stamp set. So all I have to do is remove this release paper, and I don't have to worry about the glue not sticking or oozing out. And I'm just going to stick it here for an accent. It's a little big, so you can walk through. Just going to do some real quick cutting, just to make it fit so it doesn't stick over. I thought that would be a nice accent to the card. And then I took a label from the Celebration Tidings set. I took the smaller one here and cut out in a whisper white. And I took 2 of the stamp sets. So the first one is the one that's kind of a floral, but it was a little dark, so I'm going to stamp off on another piece of paper first. And then just accent it just a little at an angle there. Oops. That was a little off. Let me try to see if I can fix that. Nope. But this is what it looks like once you stamp the Just For You in early Espresso. I put some dimensions on there. Oops. And put it there. And that is it. So how lovely is this? This is one of the versions we make. And where's the other one? And this is the sample I showed you when I first started. So both with the Gilded Autumn's Specialty Designer Series paper. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for letting me share this with you. Have a great day.